Good morning, everyone. I know it's early for some of us and maybe good afternoon for those of you elsewhere since we have a time zone difference. I'm here with Jasmine. She is a CoActive Transitional Life Coach, and she is from England. She's been living all around over the past 15 years. I was looking at her list. She's worked in Turkey and Switzerland and Costa Rica, Morocco, Spain, Tunisia, Saudi, and now in the United Arab Emirates. I'm just like boggled by that because I have not left the United States. So she has a diverse background and experience, which actually helps her relate to all walks of life. And she believes that telling her stories can be healing and give others the courage to live a life they truly deserve. She believes that having some grit and a good sense of humor are key to our happiness. So welcome, Jasmine. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I'm good, thanks. Glad to be here. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So how did you get started on this grandiose journey?
Oh, grandiose. Yeah, that's a good word. I guess it all started a long time ago, like more than 15 years ago when I was a teenager, I lost somebody really, really, really close to me. And I was, it was very difficult for me. And I just felt like I had to get out of that situation. So I always wanted to travel anyway, because my dad was from Venezuela. So I always thought that I would probably live abroad one day anyway to experience it. So yeah, I had that bad event happen to me. So I just decided that I had to get away from that situation. So I just started teaching. And then, I just kept going. I went from one country to the next. I guess I spent at least a year in each country. And that kind of helped me break it down. I think then I could deal with one feeling at a time or something. Right. So I did that for 15 years. No, it's been 15 years now, I think. I lose track, to be quite honest with you. Because anyway, I got to Dubai. Dubai was my 11th country. I got to Dubai and I realized that I was going to stay here. It wasn't going to be a place where I would go somewhere else after, like all the others. I felt different when I came here. And I think it was a number of things. I quite liked Dubai, and I think I felt different as well. I actually stopped. That was the first time I stopped, and I thought I'm going to settle somewhere. And I just looked back. When you stop, you can actually look back, can't you? So I just started to look back and think, number one, the time has gone so quickly. For a start, I can't believe it's been 15 years. Number two, or however many years it was then. And number two, I can't believe I've lived in all of these countries. And it's just like, how did that all happen? Because I feel like I was on a bit of a treadmill. It was a bit of a routine for me. Yeah, going from one country to the next country. It was just how I was living. And then I just stopped and I just thought, I don't want that anymore.
Right.
I wasn't sure what to do. So anyway, I just kept bumping into coaches, CoActive coaches. And the fifth one I bumped into, I thought, I think this is a sign. And I think maybe I need to explore this for myself, not to become a coach, to be coached myself. Yeah, exactly. Because I thought something needs to change, my mindset maybe. So I did the first course and it was so hard, honestly, for me. It was really tough. And but I knew after that course that I had to carry on, and I knew that was the way forward for me. So I did all of the courses, and then at the end I realized now I want to be a coach and work with others so they can have the same realizations and shifts as I had. So then I did certification, and that's how it happened. Yeah.
Awesome. So you said you were teaching before. What kind of teaching? Just like regular school teacher kind of thing before all of this?
Well, no, actually I was teaching English language to primary, secondary and adults, in different countries.
So that's cool. Yeah. Can you go into exactly what is the CoActive method? I mean, because there's so many different coaching methods out there. You've got your traditional life coaching, and that's very broad, very, very broad. Yeah. And then, of course, you can break it down to all kinds of like health coach, wellness coach, etc. I mean, there's various coaching.
So many. Yeah.
There's too many, exactly. But there's something for everybody out there, which is good, because what works for one person may not work for the other, or it may not resonate with them. So what exactly is the CoActive method? How's that different than, say, your standard, just generic coaching?
Yeah, well, I guess, to be honest, I don't know about the other methods out there.
Okay.
I only know about this method, and it was the training was very intense and in depth. So I guess, well, this one, we have 3 principles that we use: balance, fulfillment, and oh my God, I've forgotten the last one. I've just gone blank. Sorry. Balance, fulfillment.
It happens.
I can't believe I've forgotten the last one. Process. Sorry, process. Yes. So we have these 3 principles that we use when we're coaching. I mean, they are quite deep, each one. I mean, each one just, has different techniques and things. Like, process focuses on the present and your feelings. Fulfillment focuses on your vision and the future. And balance focuses on how we can have so many perspectives on one topic. There's like a gazillion perspectives, and we have the choice which perspective we have. And it's just a perspective. It's not truth. Yeah. So we use those principles when we're coaching, and obviously as well, it's about asking powerful questions, which I guess other coaching is the same.
Oh yeah.
And not exactly, and not giving solutions, giving questions. Exactly. So I guess that's similar, but the techniques maybe are different, and it's all about getting into action, which I guess that's coaching anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. It is very much so. You got to start really asking the hard questions so that you can start to reflect on, like you said, looking back over your past 15 years or whatever, traveling. And it's like, at that moment when you were doing it, you were just kind of on a treadmill. This is just what you do. And then when you finally stopped and you looked back, you could see there was more to it. So I think, with coaching, any coaching for that matter, that's where those hard questions come in. You're really looking inside and going, let's look at my life. What has happened? And while at the time it was just, autopilot, if you will.
Exactly.
Now you can look back and go, there's a deeper meaning to certain situations. There was a reason that, like, for instance, you and the friend situation set you on a path to where you are now, which obviously you learned all kinds of new things when you finally stopped and looked back at it. So that, I think that's where all coaching is coming from, is making us stop and be present and figure out what has happened in our lives and what is the deeper meaning for it. And then you can change your perspective about things. So
exactly. Yeah.
I know that there's like some 4 cornerstones to the CoActive method. Can you, give us more details about those?
I'm not good at all of, I should know this. The 4 cornerstones. Yeah, I guess because I just do it automatically.
Right.
I need them in front of me. Sorry.
Well, the first one is people are natural, creative, resourceful, and whole.
Oh, yes. People are naturally, which is, I guess that's a very important part of coaching, because, the coach and the client, we are in a partnership. It's not like the coach is higher than the client. We're both equal. And, like, I guess it's good to remember that cornerstone when you're doing different techniques and asking maybe really difficult questions, because if you didn't think they were naturally resourceful, creative, and whole, then you might not ask them a certain question, because you might think, oh, maybe they can't handle it. But we're not coming from that perspective. We're coming from, they can handle it. They are naturally resourceful, creative, and whole. They can do this, that it's a partnership. And then I guess the other, and then dance in the moment. So dance in the moment. So it's all about being completely present with the client. So we have like level 1 listening, level 2, and level 3. And we need to be at level 2 and level 3. So we are focusing on the client and maybe what the client isn't saying as well. We're not thinking about ourselves and, oh, what should I say next? What should I ask next? Because that's in our own head. So we're focusing on the client. So that's like dancing in the moment, you know, whatever the client says, we react to it. That's why you can never plan a coaching session, because you don't know what's going to come up.
Exactly.
So yes, yeah. So you dance in the moment. What's the other one? Sorry.
Focus on the whole person.
Oh yeah, focus on the whole person. So you know, the client will come with a topic, but you know, it's never really about the topic.
No,
you know, it's always about the person. So we don't focus on the problem, we focus on the person, you know, head, heart, and gut instinct, really. So it's aligning everything together.
Yeah, that's awesome. Invoking transformation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, evoking transformation. So, you know, sometimes in one session, the client could, maybe you're asking them a powerful question, or you're doing some techniques with them, and they could just have a shift, you know, and then an aha moment, and then everything changes for them at that moment, you know.
Right.
And that's what we aim to do in the coaching sessions, is evoke transformation. But sometimes, I mean, a lot of the transformations happen in between the sessions, you know. It's not always in, you know, of course, not every session you're going to have the client is going to have that aha moment. It could be, it could take 6 months, it could take a week, you know, everybody's so different, but that's the point of the coaching, actually, is to evoke transformation.
And during those sessions, you're right, a lot of times the aha moment's a little later, because while you're going through it, you have to process it. And then later you're like, oh, wow. It's like click, light turns on 2 hours later or a week later. You're like, now it makes sense. Now, oh, I get it. That's what this was. So have you run into any major new issues or new like primary focus or themes with coaching since this whole COVID pandemic stuff has happened?
To be honest, I guess a lot of my because I'm like I'm a transitional coach, a lot of my clients do come to me who are you know, unhappy in their career or maybe their relationship, and they want to change, but they're just not sure like what to do, like where to start, how to start. And that's kind of always been like that. I guess maybe there's more people coming to me now since COVID, because maybe some people have actually lost their jobs. So, you know, they've been forced to make that transition. But generally, it's the same kind of issues coming. Either they want to make a change or they've had to make a change.
Yeah, they're kind of forced there.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So during, when people are trying to make that transition, and they're learning to figure out who they want to be, what they want to do in life, where would you tell, let's say somebody just doesn't have the capabilities or financial fortitude or whatever to have a coach, where would you tell them to start as far as like, you know, I'm sitting at home and I'm thinking about my life and I'm not real happy with X, Y, and Z. My job stinks. I hate it. And I just got laid off. Now what? You know, if somebody was to really sit back and contemplate that as a coach, if you were leading them, like what's the first kind of questions you would have them, you know, kind of ask themselves or think about? Or
I guess the first thing would be is, you know, we do like a wheel of life, so they can see exactly where they are now, just like a snapshot of their life. You know, they have to number the areas in each topic, you know, 1 to 10, depending on how satisfied they are. Sometimes they're surprised when they see that, but I think that's a very good place to start, because you really do need to know where you are now before you can think about, you know, where to go next. So we normally start with that first, and then we would do like a visualization as well, because I think visualizations, I mean, I absolutely love visualizations myself, but I find them hard. I find them hard to do on myself. So I think and I think with visualizations, you know, things can become really clear after doing those, and you can really connect to your subconscious, which is what coaching is all about, isn't it? And you can find things out and you're like, wow, I didn't even know that's what I wanted, you know, so that can help as well.
I know for myself that, you know, that wheel here at Insight Institute, we would call it the your current reality, where you're rating.
Oh, really?
Like, yes, current reality. You're going to sit down and think about, you know, where am I on the financial side of things? How do I feel? How would I rate myself on a scale of 1 to 10, like you said? And then you break down, you know, spirituality, your relationships, etc. So I know for myself, that was actually kind of hard to do, to sit down and figure out what is my current reality. Because I think depending on the day of the week,
that's true.
Definitely was different. Like on a good day, I'm like, oh yeah, I got a 7 here and an 8 here. And then the next day I'm looking at it, I'm like, what was I drinking? Because it ain't no 7. It's a 6 or a 5. And then
that's true, actually.
Yeah. And I think that plays into the whole thing about perspectives you were talking about, that there's a gazillion perspectives. When you're coaching somebody on the perspective side of things, how do you like help them change their mind about what is perspective and how that can actually affect their daily life?
Well, what we do is we normally have there's a situation or something that they're looking at through their current perspective. So we explore the current perspective too, first, sorry. And so we explore that, we really embody that perspective. And then we look at the positives and the negatives for having that perspective, so they can really be aware of their current perspective and what's it giving them, and what are they losing from that perspective. And then we do like different activities where we, for example, I'd say, right, what can you see now? Maybe they can see a pen, for example. Say, okay, pen. What does that pen represent for you? You know, and whatever comes up. So, and then we embody that perspective as well. And we normally embody about 5 perspectives. You know, they could be fun ones, dark ones, still ones, you know, completely different. So we embody those for a couple of minutes, and then we come back and I say, you know, which perspective serves you? And then they normally choose one, and then we explore that a bit more. I guess that exercise, if it's done properly, and sometimes it takes a few times for the client to actually embody them, you know, I guess that just is about awareness, really, that, you know, it is just a perspective and you can change it. So that can be quite powerful. And I think a lot of my clients have had aha moments when we've done those exercises. When we kind of do embodiment, that's when you normally see a shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because I know for myself that the perspective aspect of things is huge, because a lot of times you just, like we said, you get on autopilot and the woe is me, and, you know, the world is against me. And this particular situation, you know, whether it's a marital situation, a job situation, maybe something going on with the relationship, it's just always been this way. This is just how it is. This, you know, and you live in that perspective, that point of view. You can't see outside of it. So it's good to know that there's people out there, and you can do it yourself, to stop and think, well, what if I thought of it this way versus this way versus this way? And it's amazing how the shift can occur, where you're like, I've just been looking at it the wrong way. I mean, that's what it is. I'm looking at it the wrong way, and I'm making myself suffer, for lack of a better word.
Because amazing. Yeah,
it's a huge thing. Now, do you guys work on helping people to maybe get more in tune to their intuition, like being able to like go with their gut instincts instead of just always over analyzing, thinking things through?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
How would you tell people to really work on that?
I guess some people are probably more naturally intuitive than others at the beginning, because maybe they're not used to tapping in. But I guess, like, we do exercises, you know, like, what's your head telling you? What's your heart telling you? What's your spirit telling you? things like that, so they can actually see there is a difference. You know, your head will say something else to what your heart's saying sometimes, and your spirit as well. And I think that's quite interesting when you just ask simple questions like that.
Yeah,
you know,
I think the hardest part would be tuning into the spirit, for at least for myself. You know,
I think so. Yeah, no, you're right, because I think a few clients are like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So sometimes that can be quite tricky, but I guess intuitive. Well, it's just, you know, you've got to. We focus on, you know, really just listening to yourself. It's about being completely present. You know, listening to your body, not your head, which does take time. At first, you know, because we do listen to our head and we get caught up in our head, don't we? That's why the embodiment is so powerful, because it's about the body, not the head, you know. Because I try and say when we're doing the perspectives, you know, don't think, just blurt out anything that's come into your head. I mean, coming into your, I guess your mind, but not thinking, you know, just say, don't think, just say. But it takes a while sometimes, because I do want to think.
Yeah, want to analyze it.
Try and figure it all out. And it's like, no, don't figure it out. Don't think of a reason. Just say it.
Just blurt it out.
And that's practice. And I guess and it takes a bit of courage as well sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know if it was me and you and I were, let's say, having a session and you're like, just blurt what comes up. Sometimes the things that come up, I don't know that I want anybody to hear, because some of them can be really, really out there. Some of it
but that's great. But that's great.
But it could be dark too. And then I know
that's great as well. You're right.
And I know there's so many different types of personalities, but me being I'm working on this, but being the type that would want to make sure I presented a certain way, you know,
really?
And people please, etc. So, you know, blurting out just what comes off the top of my head, that might give the wrong impression. So, you know, a lot of people do have a hard time connecting that, because they're going to analyze it and make sure.
And we explore the reasons, like why would they have a hard time? You know, are they judging themselves? You know, and it's a safe space and everything's confidential. And what I love about this CoActive method, which is probably every coaching method, you know, they say nobody's wrong, nobody's right.
Right.
When I heard that just made me feel free. You know, it's like, whatever you say is okay. It will not be judged. But often we're the ones judging ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that's true. I mean, most of the time it's really boils down to us judging ourselves. We think everybody else is thinking 24/7 about us and judging us, but really, after that conversation, they've already forgot about you. You're the one still
exactly
over there going on and on and on about it.
Exactly. Totally.
Yeah.
But that is definitely, I would say, a work in progress, isn't it?
Yes, it is totally a work in progress. It's very hard to disconnect that brain involvement. It just always, for many of us, myself included, to stop analyzing, you know, and thinking about what I'm going to say before I say it. I tend to overthink it. Overthinking isn't always a good thing.
No, I know what you mean. I guess we as well, and the question I would ask them is, you know, where does this serve you? Thinking of this, how does it serve you? Where does it serve you? You know, and knowing that, you know, they do have the choice to believe something. And what does Abraham Hicks say? A belief is just a thought you've had for a long time. It's like, that's all it is. You don't even need to have it, you know.
You can stop believing it. I mean, just stop thinking about it, and then your beliefs will change.
Yeah.
So I had a silly question for you. I noticed on your YouTube, and who is Stanley the sheep? I was looking at I'm like, who is Stanley the sheep?
And that's what I love, and that's what I want people. That's the reaction that I really want. Like, what on earth is this? This is the reaction that I'm going for. I guess every Sunday I do, which I would love you to come on one Sunday. Every Sunday I do, are you a leader, are you a follower? And I just talk to professionals about whatever comes up, free flow, leadership, following, sheep. and and a friend of mine, we decided to dress him up as a sheep, basically, and have interviews with him. I know it sounds crazy, but it just makes me laugh. And actually, when we're dressing up, they're in England, when we're dressing up, because it's all on Zoom, it just makes me laugh so much. And I know probably other people don't find it as funny as me, but I'm just like, you know what? It just makes me laugh so much. And I just think it's okay to be silly. And
absolutely.
And
absolutely.
And he does like speak some sense, because he gives his opinion on the episodes that I do on my lives. So he's not a silly sheep. And it's just like, and people think that sheep are followers, but actually they're not. If you look at, so I don't know, it just makes me laugh. It's it's funny that you mentioned
well,
that.
When I first saw that, I was like, this is interesting, but it does make you laugh. Well, I thought it was
Really?
cute myself, but everybody has a different sense of humor, and I'm sure when I was like, I'm trying to figure out how this is related, but I think I got it, so I just had to ask you. I thought it was cute.
Think, how is
so
it
one
related?
Of the biggest things with just general coaching is the fact that we all need to learn to be. Are you still there? I hope.
Yes. Can you hear me?
My connection.
Yeah, I'm still here. Are you still there?
You still there, Jasmine?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I'm here. I'll write it in the chat. Yeah.
We might be having some internet issues. You're kind of, there you go. You were breaking up a little.
Oh, yeah.
You know how it goes. Yes. So one of the biggest things I think is learning for us of how to be, just being, and then learning how to start doing stuff. Do you have anything to elaborate on that just general concept?
Yeah, because are you talking about CoActive as well? Yeah, because co is the being and active is the doing. And I guess you can't just be and be in your head and think too much. That's not going to get you anywhere. And equally, you can't just action without thinking. So you do need to have both together, an equal balance between, if you can. Obviously, it will change. Vary. Sorry. Yes. So it's just about how important it is to have both. Yes. Both in mind. Yeah.
It's
to be successful.
I think the being part, sometimes I think is harder than the doing part. I don't know. Maybe it depends on the person, but like truly being, like being present. Being aware of who you are, what you are, what you want to become.
Yeah.
And staying focused on that. That's hard.
I think you're probably right. I think being for me is hard as well. Because I think a lot of us just get caught up in doing, don't we?
Yes.
To distract ourselves from thinking too much, probably. So I think you could be right. But I guess, maybe if somebody meditates, they wouldn't say that. I don't know. Like meditating, there's lots of things you can do, which I need to do actually. Do you do any meditation?
I do it twice a day.
Do you really?
Yes, ma'am. Twice a day.
Wow.
And it has definitely helped. Been doing it now for sure once a day for over a year now. I added in the second time. And then depending on the day, sometimes there's a third one thrown in there. It doesn't have to be for very long periods. They recommend maybe starting off with like a 10-minute one in the morning and a 5-minute one in the afternoon. And then just like anything, there's a wide variety of techniques that you can do. I mean, some people just sit in silence. Some people are going to, when they're meditating, they're essentially doing a prayer and staying focused. Some listen to music. Some listen to guided ones that just kind of walk you through different visualizations and stuff. And that for me has definitely helped to kind of get more inside and calm. I'm one of those that has a million, the head's constantly going. And the meditation definitely helps, like, just calm you down and be like, you know what, breathe. Everything's going to be okay. I don't have to sit there and have a million thoughts going through my head. And even if they go through my head, I can tell them, shut up. Right now, I don't need all of that. I just need quiet. And it has helped for sure with the whole feeling like I have to be doing something all the time. Because I'm definitely a person that's like, either I'm up and I'm moving and I'm doing, or I'm asleep. There's not much in between.
Wow, extreme.
So, yeah, very extreme. But it's helped because now I can actually sit down and enjoy, sipping on my coffee, just watching the birds outside, and not feel like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be doing something right now. I'm not getting something accomplished. Actually, I am getting something accomplished. I'm resting my brain, my soul, my whole being by just sitting there and enjoying the creation. It's the little things in life that we tend to overlook, I feel, and take for granted. And then we wonder why we feel so miserable. I'm like, because you didn't even notice that flower. You didn't see that tree. You didn't acknowledge the fact that this blanket is so wonderfully soft and how blessed you are to even have a blanket, because some people don't. People don't.
You're right.
So
it's the little things, the simple things.
It's the very small, simple things. And gratitude definitely can change your perspective.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Definitely.
Gratitude plays a huge factor in that. When you start appreciating all of the little things around, you realize life really isn't that bad, and then it's easier to be, and then you have a better plan for doing.
Exactly. No, I think, they say that, don't they? Think about the things you're grateful for before you sleep and when you wake up.
Yes. Make a list. She's got her tea and I got my coffee. We've got to her day is winding down. Mine's just starting.
Yeah, funny.
So do you have any other points that you feel like you just need to throw out there today?
Well, I think as well, what's really changed and helped me, and I guess that's part of coaching as well, or not just coaching, what you say to yourself every day, the words that you say to yourself. And when you can become aware of that,
yes,
what are you saying to yourself when you wake up, and throughout the day, sometimes I know for me, I'm getting much better now, but the things I used to say to myself, it's like, oh my God, that's awful. Of course, you wouldn't even say it to your worst enemy. So I think doing that and writing, having a journal, which I did have, but these things are sometimes hard to keep up, aren't they? But
yes,
you can start them and then but for me it's the words. For me, I'm concentrating on the word. I'm trying to be aware of what I say to myself, and when I catch myself, it's like, okay, no, that's not right, or something,
exactly.
And don't
go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, it's fine. No, and when you catch yourself, don't be annoyed at yourself for saying it either, because then you're still not being nice to yourself. So those words we tell ourselves are usually not very nice at all. I know for myself that's definitely the case, and that's where we start feeling like we're unworthy. We're not you're so stupid. You're not enough. You blah blah blah. And I have to try to remind myself, being that I do have a child, it's like, would I tell my daughter that? I know for me, I wouldn't. So why am I telling myself that? Instead, I would rather tell her things to build her up. And, you made a mistake, kiddo, but here's what you learned from it. I have to stop and think of myself as my own child too, the inside of me, and I tell her, good, positive things. Okay, it was not a great day. Hopefully we learned something, but look how amazingly you handled X. You could have said Y, and maybe you handled it poorly. Well, that's all right. Live and learn. Tomorrow we'll do better. Exactly. What else can you do?
Yeah. And once today's done, tomorrow's a new day. So just press on. It's going to be okay.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Don't be so hard on ourselves. And in coaching, we say celebrate our mistakes. Because if you're not making mistakes, you're not doing anything new.
That's true.
Trying anything new. Yeah.
And it's just like failure. There's really no failure. The only time you fail is when you don't even bother trying. But if you're trying and it doesn't go like you think it should, that's okay. You tried, you gave it your all, and you learned something. And the next time you do it, will probably be better.
Exactly.
Or you may not do it again, whatever the situation is. So
yeah. You're right. It's just about being kinder to ourselves, which is easier said than done. But
totally easier said than done. Being kind to ourselves is not. I'm still working on that. Always a work in progress.
Exactly.
Always a work in progress. So this has been awesome. I have totally enjoyed talking with you today, Jasmine.
You too. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Now, those of you who've been watching, if you've enjoyed Jasmine's energy, her thought perspective, etc., she does have an Instagram, which is @withnava.
Oh, thank you.
And then she also has a website for those of you who would like to follow up with her, which thankfully it's real easy, www.withnava.com. And of course, you put with Nava on Instagram. Do you have a Facebook too?
Yes, with Nava.
Okay, with Nava. So I don't even have to throw it up there. If you guys can read with Nava, everything's with Nava. So that you can see more information regarding what she does, who she is. You can check out her Stanley the sheep videos too. I think they're cute. I like them. I think they're wonderful. So anyways, well, it's been a pleasure talking with y'all. Everybody have a great day, and y'all have a good day. Thank you for joining us for this interview today, everyone. Have a blessed Friday. And maybe for some of you, it might be on the verge of Saturday, depending on how late it is. Anyways, y'all have a good day. Thank you.